I'm Crystal Carter, and this is A Closer Look. Eye health is extremely important, but now we have screens everywhere. They belong in our phones, we use them at work, we use them for recreation. What is it doing to our eyes? We have an expert with us today that's going to help out with that. Our guest today is Dr. Rudrani Banik, the author of Beyond Carrots and host of an upcoming summit. Welcome, and thank you for joining us to talk to us about what's best for our eyes today.
Hey, Crystal, it's a pleasure to be here.
First off, let's talk a little bit about what screens actually do to our eyes, especially if we have a longer screen time.
Yeah, so as you mentioned earlier, we are on our screens almost every moment of the day, whether it's for work, for school, for connecting with friends and family, watching our favorite TV shows. And this really can take a toll in our eyes. There's a syndrome called digital eye strain, where people may experience blurred vision, trouble focusing, light sensitivity, and sometimes it may even bring on headaches or migraines. So there's a lot that can happen to our eyes from too much screen time.
As things go on, can it have a serious impact with either eye disease or some other medical thing that could happen because we spend so much time looking at those screens?
That's a great question. And luckily, the answer is no. Prolonged screen time, and most of us spend anywhere from 7 to 9 to 10 or more hours a day on screens. Even kids spend about 6 hours a day on screens. All of this screen time, luckily, does not cause any permanent vision loss or vision issue. If it did, we would be having an epidemic of vision issues right now or even blindness. So that's not the case, but it can cause this short term issue that we call digital eye strain. Luckily, there are many ways that we can try to intervene and prevent some of these symptoms. So there's some simple strategies that I can share.
And what are those strategies?
So number one is something that we call the 20-20-20 rule. And what that means is basically every 20 minutes, set your timer, take a 20-second break. Don't look at your screen, look at something far off in the distance, about 20 feet in the distance, and that will help your eye muscles to relax.
And for those of us that have children and we're very concerned, maybe they go straight from their screens at school to their screens, either gaming or their phones. Um, what can we do to encourage them to maybe put down something with a screen and rest their eyes for just a little while?
Yes, it's so important to get our kids into healthy habits. And yes, they are reliant on screens, but it's important to take breaks. And there's actually this is an important statistic. There's a rising incidence of myopia in the world, and myopia is nearsightedness. And it's estimated that by the year 2050, 50% of the world's population will be myopic. And we think this has to do with a lot of near work, that it increased demands of screen time. And so the key is for kids to combat this, to get outdoors. And there are studies coming out of Asia that show that when kids spend at least 2 hours a day outdoors playing, that they have reduced myopia progression. So it's really important to encourage that habit. Get outside, get off the screens, play in the sunshine, be active. These are all healthy habits, not just kids should follow, but adults as well.
And for those adults that are working, there are a few tips that they think will help their eyes, but does it really? So let's start off with the first one. Most people who do extended screen time looking at a computer screen think the lights being down is going to help their eyes. Does it?
It does. So most of our phones these days have filters that we can turn on, internal filters that will block out blue light during certain times of the day. And that blue light can stimulate eye strain and fatigue. So it does help to turn down the screen brightness, put on that filter setting, and sometimes even download a filter to your phone that will block the blue light and also block the flicker rate from the screen, which can also trigger some of these symptoms. And all of these topics, screen time, kids, myopia, headaches, fatigue, we talk about all of these topics during the Eye Health Summit that's coming up soon. So I really hope that people join us through the Eye Health Summit to learn about these topics and to go more in depth.
And can you tell us, if they're interested, how they can join this summit?
Absolutely. So first of all, it's online and it's completely free to join. We have over 35 eye health experts sharing their insights, sharing their expertise. They can go to our website, theeyehealthsummit.com. Again, theeyehealthsummit.com to join and register, and they can learn and empower themselves about vision health.
And when we talk about vision health, how often, especially those of us who work around screens, are looking at them all the time, should we have our eyes checked and our eye pressure checked?
This is such an important question. I'm so glad you brought this up, Crystal, because many people, they get their routine annual checkups. They go see their regular doctor, they get their labs, they get their mammograms, their colonoscopies, they go see the dentist twice a year. But what are we doing for our eyes? And what most people don't realize is that anyone above the age of 40 may be at risk for certain eye conditions. So it's recommended that people over 40 see their eye doctor once a year. So that should be part of your annual health routine, your annual health screenings, because on the eye exam, can we not only pick up potentially serious eye conditions like cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration? Some of these conditions in their earliest stages have no symptoms whatsoever. The only way to know if you have them would be to go get your eyes checked. Then we can diagnose and intervene. But not only can we pick up those eye conditions, we can pick up medical conditions on eye exams as well. And people don't realize that high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, all of these general health conditions can show up in the eyes first, and we can diagnose it based off of an eye exam. So please, 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 this is a little plug for me, my public service announcement for the day. Get your eyes checked if you haven't made your annual eye checkup appointment.
And we know, those of us that go to the eye doctor regularly, that some of those tools can be intimidating. So when we're worried about our children and we're starting these, what are some things that we can do to make them a little less anxious about visiting an ophthalmologist or an
Yes, I know
optometrist?
sometimes it can be sometimes anxiety provoking or stressful because you're expected to perform to read off the chart. I would recommend just going in with a very calm kind of a demeanor. Maybe do a little meditation before you go in and say it's okay. If my vision's not great when they check me, it's okay, because the doctor can help you improve your vision and really try to get you the optimal vision that your eyes can attain. And the other thing that I know many people are a little bit reluctant to do is to get the dilation part of the eye exam. That's when your doctor puts in eye drops to dilate your pupils so we can check the back of the eye. And this is so important. I really encourage people not to forego the dilation part of the eye exam. Yes, it's a little inconvenient. Yes, it makes your vision a little blurry for a few hours. It makes you a little bit light sensitive, but that dilation is critical to detecting issues in the back of the eye, again, like cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, diabetes. We can even pick up tumors in the back of the eye. Now, that's pretty rare. I don't want to scare anyone that, they may have an eye issue like that. But, it's important to get that checkup with the dilation as part of it. And again, these are all topics we discussed during the summit. Some of our experts really share really unique insights into some of these conditions and what people can do to really manage them and prevent them, because we don't want to lose our vision. We want to have strong, healthy vision for the rest of our lives for the decades ahead.
And we talk a lot about screen times, but will we learn a little more? I know one of the things that I have as a concern as a mom is sports. We want them to put those screens down, but do we need to be watching for anything because they're playing sports in the sunlight? Do we need to make sure they have sunglasses? Are those a few of the things that will also be touched on at this summit to let us know how to best care for not only our eyes, but those of our children?
Yes, we actually have a whole day dedicated to children and young adults and how to promote eye health for this age group. Because many people think that, I'm young, I'm not at risk for anything happening to my eyes. But anyone can have an eye problem at any age. So during that day, on day 3 of the summit, we talk about how to promote kids' eye health. We talk also on other sessions about UV protection. You mentioned sun protection. It is really important, especially on bright sunny days between the hours of 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to have proper UV protection. And that goes for sports played outside as well. The other thing I'll mention is that on day 6 of the summit, we talk about sports-related eye injuries. And I can't tell you how many times, unfortunately, I've seen a young person who plays active sports come in with an eye injury that could have been prevented by wearing the right protective eyewear, protective goggles, for example, taking those precautions to prevent an injury and prevent potential serious vision loss. There's so much that you can learn from the summit from our speakers, and there's really something for everyone, whether it's blue light, screen time, safety, also ergonomics. How should we position ourselves when we're on our screens? How should we be sitting? Where should we place the screen for our optimal eye performance? We talk about all of these topics during the summit.
And if I want to go to the summit, but maybe I can't go to everything that it offers, it's okay for me to just pick and choose and go in and out of it based on maybe what is relevant to me?
Absolutely. The summit runs 7 days, and we're distributing the talks throughout this 7-day period. But if you can't join all of it, that's okay. As much as you can join, I know people are busy, they may be working, they may have other responsibilities. If you can only attend 1 or 2 sessions, still it's worth it to join, because whatever little nuggets of information you're going to get could really transform the outcome of your vision for life and also your health, your overall health, because our eye health is so connected to our brain health and our overall health. So even if it's for a few sessions, please join us for whatever time you can spare.
And lastly, very quickly, can we get the name of the book again and, of course, the URL for the summit?
Absolutely. So my book is called Beyond Carrots, Best Foods for Eye Health A to Z. It's available on Amazon, both in print and in Kindle. And then also for the summit, our summit website is theeyehealthsummit.com. So please join us. It's free. Invite your friends and family. Let's all learn together. Let's all make eye care a priority.
Dr. Rudrani Banik, thank you so much for joining us. We've learned so much today.
Thank you so much, Crystal.
I'm Crystal Carter. This has been A Closer Look.